Hi, Loyola Lions. Please recall we learned how to find the area of a right triangle. It was to take the base, multiply it by the height, which is the area of a rectangle, and then divide that by 2, because the triangle is, well, half of the rectangle. Makes sense. Turns out the area to find any triangle is base times height divided by 2. And so what becomes the hard part is when you're dealing with a triangle that is not a right triangle, and you need to figure out what is your base and what is your height. So what you got to start with is what you know. So in this example here, you'll see that we know that this side length here of this triangle is 8. Now, we want to find, we can call that the base, we'll put it right here, 8. Set up our expression. Now, to find the height, what we need to do is find the point that is opposite the base. So here's our base. Our point of our polygon that's opposite is here. So the point opposite the base. If we were in my classroom, I'd drop the base right now. You know me. Okay, so we've got the base, that's 8, boom. Now, what we need to find is the point opposite the base, here it is, and then what we need to do is draw a line from that point that is perpendicular to the base. And so what that means is we'll draw this line here. You can see it here, it's kind of a dotty, splotchy line because it's not real. And here it is, and now I know it's perpendicular because it comes at a right angle with the base. It makes a right angle right here. And if you've done that, then this distance that you've drawn, that is the height of your triangle. And so in this case, this graph board happens to be 1 inch each. So I can actually count here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I know that this is 9 inches. And so if in a problem they gave you that this height, like this distance over here, say, like this right here is 9, then you'd want to use that as this number right here. But we did it this way, by actually finding the point that's opposite the base and drawing a line that's perpendicular with the base. It's at a 90-degree angle with the base. Okay, so that number is 9. 8 times 9 is 72. And that's over 2. And now 72 divided by 2 is, did you do it in your head? 36. This is 36 inches squared. Now, always a good idea to go back and check your work, make sure it makes sense. You can see I started doing that here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 8, and this would be 12, and this would be 16, 18, 20, no, 16, 20, 24, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. So yeah, 36 makes sense. It does. Okay, great. So now that I've verified, I can say, yeah, I know this is true. But what if the triangle doesn't have an easy way inside the triangle to find a height, like this? Well, it's the same answer. You want to find a base. In this case, it's 3 inches. I know that this side length is 3 inches. So I'm going to put that 3 right here because remember, base times height divided by 2. So I'm going to put this 3 right here. Here's going to go my height, and here this gets divided by 2. So now, here's my base, 3. What I need to do is find the point opposite the base. Here it is. And then I need to draw a line that's perpendicular to the base. Well, here's the base. Can I draw a line that's perpendicular to it? Well, what I have to do is imagine, and I'm allowed to here. So here's my line that's perpendicular to the base. Are you using your imagination, Loyola Lions? You should imagine this imaginary line. And that imaginary line will extend all the way from up here to to out there, and then from the top of the, I guess top doesn't make sense, but in my mind, can I tell you a story? I like to think of, there's a little person right here at the end, and she is fishing right here with her fishing pole, and she's hanging this line out from the end of the cliff down to the craggy, rocky sea below. And that distance of fishing line is the height of this triangle on the edge of the cliff that she's standing. Okay, so think fishing line, and that's your height for one of these kind of oblong, funny-looking triangles. Okay, so this distance here is 8. We know this because we can count this, essentially made a right triangle that allows me to count it. So I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I put my 8 in here. I do a little multiplying. 3 times 8 is 24. I divide it by 2, and I end up with 12 inches squared. I go back and check my work because we always do. That's 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This makes sense. This makes sense. Okay, so my answer is 12 inches squared, and you have learned how to find the height when you know the base of any triangle. What you need to do is find the point opposite the base and draw yourself a line at a perpendicular angle to the base. Remember, right angles is what you're looking for. Okay, have a great day.